Whoo, this is not Florida, man. But it's okay. Hydration is the key. Collins, senior golf analyst with ESPN.com. I just joined the Lock Laces crew, and I guess this is kind of my story. A little bit. I was doing stand-up comedy in Hilton Head, South Carolina in 1998. And a kid I'd gone to high school with knew I had started to get into golf and was playing probably for 4 years, maybe 3 years, something like that. And of course, like, I was hooked on it, but I had never been to a pro tournament. And in Hilton Head that week, I was performing at Coconuts Comedy Club the week that the tournament was going on. So my buddy is like, hey man, when you get here, I'm getting in Monday night. All right, perfect. We're gonna go Tuesday to the practice round. And I was like, practice? Like golf? Practice? That's the stupidest thing I had ever heard of. Like, and he goes, well, we can just go on Tuesdays when I got tickets. And I was like, well, I don't think they play until Saturday. Because I didn't know anything about pro golf. So he was like, they play starts on Thursday. But we ended up going out there and saw a guy named Omar Uresti who was playing by himself, and his brother was caddying for him. And his brother just came up on one of the tees and started talking to me. And then he said, hey man, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm a stand-up comedian. And he's like, yo, Omar, man, this dude's a comedian. And Omar comes up and he's like, do you know Rodney Carrington? I'm like, yeah, we performed together at the Stardome back in the day. And he's like, come on, man, lifts the rope up. So now my buddy's like, and I'm thinking, why not? It's normal. I don't know what's normal. So we go walking in the fairway, and me and Omar are chatting and having a good old time and stuff, and then invited him to the show. And by the end of the week, probably 50 golfers and 100 caddies had been to the show. And I started booking comedy wherever the tour was gonna be. And in the daytime, I'd hang out on tour, and at night, they would come to the show. And then one week, Robert Gomez called me, like, I'm not having fun on the golf course. Come caddy for me for a week. Just because I just want to start having fun. And then after I caddied for Gomez that 1 week, then other guys found out about it, and they would say, call me when you got a week off. And then from then, Chris Couch was the first guy to say, from now on, whenever you're not doing stand-up comedy, you're caddying for me only. And that's how it started. Twitter. I was a guy who, my editor now, reached out to me on Twitter because the person who was the head of ESPN's digital side was I wouldn't even call it a closet golf nut. Everybody knows he's a golf fanatic. And I was doing play-by-play for SiriusXM. And he used to listen to the broadcast on his way to work, and then sometimes sneak listening in work. So he heard the interviews that I would do with the players. And they're a lot different than what other guys. As coming from a caddy and comedian background, I'm not a regular journalist. I still don't consider myself a normal journalist. So when an opening was gonna come to the ESPN's golf side, he went down to the editor and just said, hey man, maybe reach out to this guy and see if he'd be interested. So this guy hit me on Twitter and said, you got time to chat? And I thought it was for a radio interview. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'm talking to ESPN St. Louis at 2:00 and we can talk after that, no biggie. And then we chatted on the phone and he was asking me all these questions. I kept waiting for him to say, okay, we're gonna start the interview now, or okay, we're rolling. And he never did. Then he asked me, have you ever written anything? And I was like, what was he writing? I still type with 2 fingers. So, and I go, what is this for? And he's for ESPN. Yeah, no, it's ESPN, but I just got off the phone with St. Louis. Like, is this ESPN New Mexico? Is this ESPN Arizona? ESPN Connecticut? And he was like, I'm in Bristol, Connecticut. And I was like, you mean headquarters? ESPN? And he goes, yeah. And I'm on the phone, and I was like, hold on one second. Put the phone on mute. I looked over and was like, I think this is for real, like ESPN. And my wife was like, is it for a job? Oh, no, hold on. What's this for? Well, we're losing a writer. We thought maybe you'd be interested to come up top. Hold on. Holy A caddy, Duane Bach. I gotta give him mad props. I saw him wearing them, and I was asking, yo, what are those? Those are cool. And he's like me when it comes to sneakers, so he likes matching stuff up. And I'm real freaky when it comes to stuff like that. Everything gotta match, gotta look right. So he had these lock laces on one time, and I was like asking him about them, and he was like, man, this is a new product I just got turned on to, been kind of working with the company. And he was like, you want to try them? And yeah, let me try them. So he hooked me up with a whole bunch, like probably 4 or 5 pair. And I was like, get me some different colors and stuff, and I put them in a whole bunch of my different shoes. And my kids saw them, and they were like, Daddy, can we put those in our shoes? And that's when I was like, all right, they might be onto something. It's straight convenience to get. It's easy in and easy out. On the golf course, it's the same, especially for caddying. If you got to do 36 holes, after 18 holes, your feet, they can be hurting just a little bit, and your shoes can get a little snug if you're not drinking enough liquids when you're out on the golf course. With lock laces, instead of having to untie stuff and then try and get it perfect, you just do a little tiny adjustment, and everything else takes care of itself. They're one of those things on the golf course. It's a little thing that you don't think means a lot until you're on that second 18. Until your feet start to swell up just a little bit, or your shoes feel just a little uncomfortable. With these, it makes it really convenient and really fast. That make your shoes stay comfortable all day. When in life is a tie satisfying? When does somebody walk away and was like, yeah, tie? When does that happen? None. Just tell me one time, because I don't know anyone that I want to hang out with that feels like that. I don't know one person who goes, yeah, tie. If that's the way you feel, I don't need to hang out with you, because you're wasting my time. When it comes to anything in life, like, you want to win and never tie? Yeah, that's what I want. Win, never tie.